Good afternoon, everyone. How we doing today? Good. Good.
Anything new with any of your injured or unhealthy players?
No extra guys at practice today. Again, we were hoping to get one surge in there today, but still not quite ready. So on we go.
How were you running a practice with 7 guys?
We actually had 10 out there today. There's a couple guys with things on their hands that are still able to go through some non-contact things. So, it was pretty light. Obviously, we're in recovery mode today, but, it's always good. We had a good film session, just showing some, improvement areas and obviously showing some things we did well as well. And then pretty light on the court shooting and 5-on-0 stuff and pretty short.
Is Kyle able to do some of the stuff?
He's not doing it right now. He's coaching, assistant coaching.
Nick asked Ronde about you talk. He said last year this time you were just trying to put in basics. You obviously advanced when you look at the defense and the field goal percentage. How quickly is a guy like Ronde catching on to stuff?
Well, he's good. He's pretty high IQ, Jonesy in general, right? Both ends, you see where he finds himself in the right spot on offense. He's a solid passer as well, makes some good plays there. So he picks him up good, and he's thing I like about him is he asks questions too. When he doesn't understand it, he's out there asking, and in the film he's trying to learn and get on board. But I think more than anything, Jonesy, you put him on the ball a lot, right? So that's a good job for him with his talents, and that takes you out of a lot of the schemes. Your job is to work as hard as you can and pressure that primary scorer and hound him as much as you can, and he does a good job of that. I think that helps him. Helps us.
A lot last night. Nick obviously got me to keeping Embiid off the board completely. But I want to ask you about the job that OG and I guess Ronde did on Simmons. What did you think of that?
Is good. I think again, we try to, as you guys know, you've seen enough of these types of games with us now, is we try to go pressure these guys, right? Whenever there's a guy that a lot of teams sit off of, we try to take the opposite approach and go up and pressure them. Again, we try to take up that space that, we kind of call the runway. Seems that space they use there, they just get a head of steam up, and then they're then it's hard to guard them when they've got that much force going. So I thought they did a good job. I think, again, you get to slow him down, and he's walking rather than running sometimes at the start. I thought they're both good size, so they can somewhat look him eye to eye a little bit too. That helps, and they got length. That when he does get out to pass, they get their hands up. Pretty good job in transition against him too, because he gets a lot of transition. That's kind of more of a team thing. But they worked. They worked, and that's what it takes. You got to work on guys like that.
At the beginning of the second half, it looked like he was going to get himself going, a couple of quick drives.
Yeah.
And then but you shut that off.
Well, we made it. Those were both mistakes. Kind of multiple mistakes by us. We didn't get up and guard him like I was just talking about, and he got going right, and then our weak side just wasn't ready to go either on either one of those. I think they were kind of there, but they didn't really feel like jumping in front at that point of the game.
Nick, when you look at going back to even the last 7 games, you guys have had a really nice run of holding elite players below their expected performance.
I think that obviously I give credit to our guys to go out there and put the work in, right? There's let's take last night for example. Marc Gasol's he's as good as he gets, man, as a big man defender. Combination of size, physicality, IQ, effort, all those things that, when you start listing all those things and your defense mentality becomes pretty good, and it kind of spreads a little bit, I think, and so that's kind of where it starts, and then you go, you say the same thing about Rondé OG on Simmons or whatever, and I don't know, Rondé on James back whenever it was 3 months ago, whenever that game was. So that's kind of where it starts. I think some willingness, some buy-in, some effort, and then there's some schemes that you're using too, and it's those some of those schemes are really good, and sometimes they get a little painful, right? Because if you're executing some of those things, you're kind of willing to give up some others. And I think there was a stretch of that game last night. They might have hit 5 or 6 straight threes, right? So it gets a little painful. It wasn't that painful. I said, geez, they've hit 6 straight threes and we're still up 1. So could have been more painful, I guess. But you just got to kind of ride through that and trust that it's going to work and pay off. And I think really all we're trying to do with some of that stuff is give ourselves a chance to win. Give ourselves a chance, at the end to have a chance to win the game, and give guys all the credit. They've gone out there and executed the stuff pretty high level, and played hard, right? They playing hard, man.
Nick, to that point, I asked Fred almost the same question last night of the success against so many guys, and he said right away, Nick, Nate, Adrian, Jamal, like shout out to the whole coaching staff.
Yep.
How much of it is then a buy-in from your players to the schemes you're wanting to execute and them just simply doing it?
I mean, I think that's what we're trying to do here, right? Our job is to look at what's coming at us, to talk about many variations of things that will possibly work defensively. Simplify that a little bit, get some type of order in which you kind of may want to use this one, then this one, then this one, and then try to relay that to the team and then tell them why. And again, I think that we're now getting some historical success and historical data to say that, like somebody mentioned Rondé earlier. How does Rondé know how to do this stuff? Well, like I said last night after the game, we'll show him some films of last year's playoffs and say, this is who you would be right now. You're this guy. And, so it's not like you're just trying to get him to conjure this up out of thin air about, okay, I think I understand what you want me to do. And you say, this is what it looks like. And then he'll say, oh, I can do that. And then you say, will you? And he say, yeah, okay. And then you're okay. Yeah. But I would like to echo that too. I mean, those guys, I've said to you many times, I should probably say it more often, but as far as a coaching staff goes, those guys are big. They're big time. They are all three of those guys. Adrian, Nate, and Sergio are all head coach level guys, and they take these game plans and they dig into them and they eat them up and they spit them back out to our players in a incredible way, in a credible format, and they're really good, man. They're really good. That's all I can say.
Going back and watching the film from last year from the playoffs, specifically, is that something that you guys have been doing as a team with the returning players as well, or is that just mostly for the newer guys and the younger guys?
Well, there's a little bit of both, Josh, that goes on. There's some moments that we got the whole team together and we're showing them things, and then there's some one-on-one stuff, where those guys will need some extra time that you don't need to have the guys that have been through it a bunch of times, seeing it again or going through it again. And then there's even probably a third scenario where you got, a couple guys, you might have OG and Rondé sitting there watching, certain clips of certain guys. But again, that all goes into the prep, and you just do what you think you need to do till they understand it. Right, and sometimes they got it on one team session. Sometimes they don't have it, and you got to do a one-on-one session and maybe another one-on-one session until you feel like they've got it comfortably. And you go walk through the stuff. Upstairs we walk through the stuff before the game as well, and so there's good. They're really good. They're really locked in on focusing on executing that stuff.
Hey, Nick, where's RJ
He's up there. He's up there.
What do you think?
Well, he's a scorer, right? And he's got the ball, quite a bit, and he does does multiple things with it. They'll let him bring it. They'll run him off stuff. They'll use him in a lot of ways. We will have to game plan for him. That's for sure. He's right up there.
What have you seen from his all-around game?
Well, I've been pretty impressed. He's pretty young. What is he? 19. I mean, he's 19 and he's logging some serious minutes. He's again, like I said, he's got the ball a lot. He's making a lot of decisions. I think he'll. It's a great year for him to really grow. I think he shot the ball pretty well. For him, I think that's pretty good from the three. I think he's made decent decisions as well, as far as when defenders are closing in on him to find the right pass out, and he's been unselfish as well. So I think he's getting a heck of an education for this young to get that many reps and have the ball in his hands. I think it's going to be invaluable to his growth and stuff. But he can hoop, man. He's got the body, he's got the size, he's got some IQ, he's got some love of the game. He can hoop.
When Kyle went down, I mean, there was obviously some concern about what you guys would do when Fred wasn't on the court. Since then, you're scoring about 124 per 100 when he's not on the court.
What are we playing Fred for? Gee, Merry Christmas.
I was going to say, other than
Get him off the floor.
obviously benching Fred, what do you make from what's going on?
I don't know, Eric. I don't want to keep saying this, but I feel like, well, no, not that I care, Eric. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I'm really just trying to get through those moments, to be honest. I'm not saying it's survival mode, but I'm just trying to, you got to get them off the floor some and rest them some, and you got to get Pascal off there some and rest them some. I mean, I know I'm not doing it too often, but I'm just trying to piece it together so it continues to flow and there isn't just a total breakdown out there. And it's been good. It's been good to it's pretty simple what we're doing a lot of times, but that's okay because they're doing simple pretty well. Right? They're doing even though we're running like one simple little action through mark or whatever, then the guy on the weak side sets a great screen and dives to the basket and ends up with a layup because they're playing basketball very well off of those simple actions. So what do I make of it? I mean, I like it. I like Pascal at the point guard. I like him bringing the ball up the floor and just giving him another view of the game and another way to expand his game.
You mentioned earlier that Kyle's been doing a bit of coaching, obviously, on the sideline here. How would you describe his style of coaching?
Total authoritarian. No, I'm just kidding. He's very direct. No, he's good. He's good. He's obviously a lot of years and a lot of smarts in the game, and the guys listen to him, right? And he jumped out there in a drill today to say, we're not quite doing this right. Here's what it should look like, and he walked them through it, and the drill got better. So he's a good coach. He tells them what's wrong, and then he goes out there and shows them how to do it right. That's good.
Do you have any more information on Thomas's finger? I know you said yesterday you had more today.
Yeah, he's it's his middle finger, left middle finger, and it's a fracture in there, and I guess it's going to be like 4 weeks. It's strange because he can kind of go out there and work out and do everything, but it's just one of those things where it needs to heal, and if it doesn't, it could hurt it worse right now. It's a little painful for him. He goes out there and does his shooting workout. He says it's a little painful when he catches the ball and all that stuff, but it's just unfortunate. It's a small little deal that there's not much he can do until it heals, and I think that's going to be 4 weeks before it's ready to go. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Terrence is in the hall.
Thanks, Nick.
See ya.